Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning trading session. Back to the salt mines for us. So we head into another trading week. All right, the market's just opened up a couple of minutes ago. Sorry, I was a little bit late getting here. Got stuck in an email correspondence. All right, so here we are with the NASDAQ, and a little bit of a quiet, well, sort of a quiet open. Let's take a look here at the NQ on the Eagle here, and you can see where we left off on Friday's trading. Trading ceased around 44.64.65. And we just opened up down here around the 44.40 area. And right now it looks like we may be trying to get into that opening gap. Hopefully not too much into that opening gap. Gold prices just tanked off the North American Open. North American Stock Index Open. Gold itself opened back here at 5:20 my time. Got a nice little red bar buy signal off of the Eagle. Came up here, produced a rule of 3 signal, even though we only got, well, I suppose you could count this one as your third signal. But we had that all-important retest of the high, come back with a sell signal, and the market declined from there. Where are we? Here we are. So gold heading a little bit lower right out of the gate. Crude oil stagnant right now. Good morning, Jim. For those of you following the advanced decline numbers, we have 900 on the buy, 1800 on the sell, but there is a little bit of an opening gap to the downside, so that's going to factor in to that. And now we're producing a first micro-macro cross here on the hawk. This is one of these trades, because it's so early, because the market may be struggling for direction. If you're going to take it, I can't take it on a 1% risk scenario. I would have to risk the full 2% of my trading capital. You would want to cover below the lows. And now we're into a macro pullback type situation. And all we're really doing here is testing the waters. An entry above the high is a little bit safer, because you see, this may just be a bear flag, right? So the market's in a downtrend. We produce this little bit of a retrace before the next leg lower. This is why I say you need to pay attention to what's preceded the current signal. You need to take a look at the context of the chart, not just focus on these last few bars right here. Okay, now we're drifting into yellow bars, so I'm going to close that, and here comes a red bar buy signal. Ooh. Technically, if you wanted, you could treat this as a rule of 4. A rule of 4. Shoot, I'm getting all my signals mixed up. You could treat this as a 4-arrow consolidation on the hawk. So we got 1, 2. Signal 3 didn't trip. Here comes signal 4. So it's not a pure 4-arrow consolidation. The reason we like to see the 4 arrows is it shows a little bit more effort on the part of the buyers, right? That the signal is actually enough to engage the signal before the next move lower. All right, so here comes a red bar buy signal now. I'm going to flip over into just a single contract. Oh, as they continue to drift lower, we might get a full-blown reversal to the downside here. Okay, folks, this is a little, like I say, a little on the risky side here, unless we get into a trading range, in which case we would expect the market to rally to the top end. We should be able to get our scalp target out of that trade. Let's see who else is giving us a signal here at the moment. We did get a hard edge bounce here on the Raptor. Normally we like to see a double hard edge bounce. This one just produced the single, so we'll see whether we come back with a buy signal here as well, and that would produce our soft edge buy. Oh, well done. Jim bagged 22 ticks on that earlier short. Well, let's see if the buyers can pull it together or not. Not looking so good for the buyers right now. That's why we put our stops way down here. They're going to make one more effort, at which time I will get more aggressive with my stops, unless, of course, they stop me out first. A signal like this hawk trade that we looked at, this red bar buy, this is one of these types of trades where you have like a 50-50 chance that the trade's going to work out for you. Because, you know, we have a downtrend through the overnight. No real direction here. There is a very good chance the market will try to retest the highs, hold the support, and then there's a very real chance the market's not. That this was a bear flag type situation and the market's just going to head higher, or pardon me, head lower. So here we are now with our first micro macro cross signal. Time for me to get a little bit more serious about covering this trade a little bit more aggressively. That might be a little bit too aggressive. Oops. Let's put it below this little swing low. Let's hold it right there. There we go. All right, so they're just shy of our signal. We are getting a red bar buy signal here. Oh, shoot, folks. It's Monday. I can't get my terms straight. We're getting a soft edge buy signal here on the Raptor. And we have had the retest of the low. This is a little bit more stretched out than I normally like to see it. By that I mean, let me just get a stop and play. By that I mean, if we're going to get a soft edge buy signal, let's see if I can find you a better example. The market's been in a very big downtrend. Okay, well, that's going to get too small there in a sec. Normally, when we see the market make a bottom, I like to see a soft edge buy signal produce relatively quickly, because that shows faster momentum on the part of the buyers. The sellers trying to push the market down, buyers come back, sellers try to regain the trend, and the buyers show immediate momentum and come back and push the market higher. And then they produce a soft edge buy signal somewhere through there. When it gets stretched out like this, however, it may still be a soft edge buy. In this case, it's looking more like the market's trying to put in a bottom, trying to retest the lows and perhaps rally from here. It's still very early in the session, however. All right, let's hold below those lows, please and thank you. All right, so this is actually a double pullback signal now that we had here on the Raptor. And this is a suitable sell signal to short right here. This is making me very nervous about my trade, trying to buy the market. The Hawk trade did get high enough to hit our profit objective, thank goodness, but it doesn't look like the Raptor trade is going to work out. We just breached here, and chances are pretty good we're going to see the market decline from here. So let's see what else we've got going on here signal-wise. We've got a sell signal here on the Eagle. And this actually was our signal bar right here. I would have waited for the market to turn the ATR over. And now we also get the luxury of a second push on the entry. And all the second push means, and you can do this on any of your tools, but it seems to be most effective on the Eagle and the Falcon. And all you're doing is you're letting the market engage the signal so that you can see where the current limit is of the buyers and sellers. And then you can enter, in this case, below that bar. So we see the buyers stepped up, trying to protect those lows where they stopped the market beforehand. We've got ourselves a very tight little trading range here at the moment. And maybe, just maybe, we're going to see them press on through and retest the highs. So let's go back here to the Raptor. I don't see a signal forming on the Falcon just yet. The Falcon's trying to give us a trend change signal. And you can see here with the Raptor what we have is we have a little bit of a triangle type formation going on. Jim says it looks like the bank index and the DAX both getting a little bit more bullish, so maybe we'll see that follow through here on the NQ. I am going to get more aggressive with my stop now that we're making a run toward these highs. a switch to the parabolics. You could also go with the bar high-low. You probably wouldn't want to crowd it too much. All right. Well, that was a pleasant surprise. I honestly thought when they were breaching the lows here that they were going to go a little further and just tag me below this low, but it looks like the extra buying that occurred back here was enough to support the market. Again, this is why it's important to try to give your trades as much room to sort themselves out as possible. Curtis is asking, Eric, you're still trading June. Should you not be in September? Technically, the June contract doesn't expire until the end of this week. I know Ninja always gets everybody to roll over early. What I'll do is, to avoid confusion, I'll roll into September, although normally a lot of times I'll trade the front month almost up till the expiration. I would trade the June contract almost, well, till Wednesday or Thursday. Okay, so that nice little soft edge buy on the Raptor working out not too badly. We can get rid of our Eagle trade. So we'll clear that off. And here on the Hawk and the Falcon, we had corresponding signals. We came back with another first micro-macro cross signal. Now, when this one was forming, because the support seems to be holding, you could take this one on the hash mark. The danger with this is we don't know at this point whether the market's going to hold at the highs. So ideally your stop should go down below here. If you can't afford that, then perhaps the swing point here in the micro line, or at the very least the swing point in the macro line. The reason I would want to take the earlier entry as well is our profit objective. It's much easier to see the market slip a high by 4 or 5 ticks than it is to reserve my entry until we break the high and then expect the market to slip the high by 10 ticks. Now, in this instance, you would have been okay in either situation, as the market seems to be putting in a pretty good rally at this point. Yeah, I really don't understand why Ninja has everybody roll early. They've been doing that recently on the stock indices. I suppose last week the volume tipped from the June contract to the September contract, where there were more people trading September. But the June contract doesn't expire for another week. So here on the Falcon, we have the exact same situation that we've been looking at. Again, we have the added support on the lows, and I always consider whoever controlled the last swing controls the market. So at this point, the buyers took control from the sellers, came up here, and produced a buy signal. Once more, you'd want to risk it below the swing low if at all possible. The reason being, if we're stuck in a sideways trading range, the market is going to try to retest the lows. So if you keep your stop too tight, you're not giving the buyers a chance to recover the market. And here too, a nice little rally up to the primary support line. All right, so we're getting a little bit of volume coming through on this bar. You can see these bars getting relatively wide. So I'm going to, let's go with the bar high-low. And we'll just give them that one bar. That's going to be pretty close to where the parabolics are at. All right, so they're looking for some sort of resistance as we get closer to the 44.60 mark. Well, actually the parabolics are being a little bit tighter than my bar high-low settings, so I'll go with that. Yes, I know everybody is writing me here about September, that the September contract has more volume and more bars. I'm aware of that. Thank you. I guess it's just a habit from my pre-internet trading days. But I'm not going to change it right now. We need to let this contract finish, or this trade finish, sorry. Gee, Burrs, I'm really stumbling over my lips this morning. Oh, nicely done, Jim. Jim knocking it out of the park this morning. He went long at 11. Oops, wrong tool. Let me get the YM up here. And Jim, are you in September or June? I was going to pull up a YM chart here. Anyways, Jim picking up a few ticks on this little rally that we're seeing here. The events decline also getting a little bit more even. 1,200 on the buy, 1,600 on the sell. And it looks like we're about to encounter some resistance. So I'm only going to give them this one bar here. There we go. That's all you get. Okay. All right. Now I will roll over. Okay, just a moment. I'm going to save all this. So I don't need to do it again tomorrow. Okay. And I guess I may as well check my expiration dates on my other charts while I'm at it. Crude oil will be the next one coming up, but I think the July contract is still the one we're on. Nice thing about crude oil is you can trade as far out as you want. It's a huge, huge market. Okay, yep, everything is fine. So just a review here of what we've been doing this morning. So the market was kind of sideways here. The first micro-macro cross signal that worked out in the June contract, not so good here in the September contract. You would have had to hold that a lot longer. You did get a break here of the green bar sell, came back with a first micro-macro cross. So those signals coincided, and now we're producing a macro pullback signal. So the NQ attempting to look a little bit more bullish. Here on the Raptor, we'll look at the Raptor trade that we did. The soft edge buy signal. Actually, I think it was this one that we took here. So a couple of soft edge buy signals and a nice little rally out of that. Looking for a cloud crossover now. Now, a lot of times with the cloud crossover, I do like to see the market drift a little bit deeper, but it looks like this is all we're going to get on this one. So if you're going to take the cloud crossover, the problem here is the structure, right? There's very little to base a stop on. The ideal stop is way down here, which is going to be unrealistic for most. You could also risk here below the hard edge, just in case the market makes a deeper retracement. And here on the Falcon, we've got ourselves a late filter entry signal, which tends to be a high probability signal. Okay, so here comes that retrace now. Okay, getting a yellow bar here in the hawk. So things starting to unwind maybe for the buyers. Here's a red bar buy signal now. It's very, very rare to see a late filter entry signal fail. So if the Falcon signal here comes apart and we produce a trend change signal to the downside, that may have some good potential. Of course, now we're into the hard edge here on the Eagle and the Raptor. We'll see if those offer us any support. Big ranges here this morning. Well, they're just kind of in limbo. Nothing going on. Not right now, anyway. All right, well, we are getting a first micro-macro cross here on the hawk. The problem, again, is the structure. To take this trade, you really end up risking it all the way up there. It's easy to get engaged and have the market turn into like a double top type formation. And the closer we drift toward these lows, the more aggressive the buyers are going to get. So technically it is a first micro-macro cross. I would like to see this retreat into a macro pullback, or better yet, yellow bars. Get me off of the hook from having to take it entirely. Or maybe this would be a good time to go get a coffee. All right, I'll be right back. So has the temptation to do anything silly passed? Oh yes, I think it has. All right, had you taken that first micro-macro cross, like I said, you'd have to risk the trade fairly deep. You could be sweating that trade a little bit. We come back with a macro pullback, and now we're working a possible 4-arrow consolidation. I do think that we are going to see this market drift maybe a little bit more, maybe even get into a green bar sell situation. Very neutral. You can see we're right here in the middle of the hard edge. All right, well, we just tripped our 4-arrow consolidation pattern. Oops, wrong button. Doggone it. I wish they would make these things different colors. So what we're looking at is a market that's been retracing. It has a little bit of a bear flag type look to it. And once more, there's very little up here structure-wise to try to take this trade. So this is not the type of trade that gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling. If we had a nice little retest of the high and then a failure and then a sell signal, okay, that's something that's easy to get behind. See, now they're getting into those yellow bars and into that macro pullback, or red, hi, gee, green bar sell is going to crop up there. We are getting a red bar buy, oh man, here on the Eagle. And your objective would be the top here. So it's probably a signal you want to take earlier rather than later. And maybe even tighten the profit objective, even though it's against the ATR. And here we've had our cloud crossover on the Raptor. And we've got a chance for a second push on this signal also. So a couple conflicting signals right now, but I think we're going to see a little bit of an uptick here first. Oh, and I forgot to engage my signal here on the Eagle. Well, that's all right. We still got it going here in the Raptor. I better get a stop and play. Just looking for a little bit of a move here back toward the highs. We'll stretch the profit target here to the break even. Let's put that away. I don't normally do this, by the way, where if I'm already short in one trade, I won't look to go long on the same market off another signal. There's nothing going on here this morning, which is why I showed both those to you. Okay, time to do something with our stops here. Well, okay, chances are that the market's going to resume the downtrend sometime during this day. Pretty good. Do you want to try to ride out the stop? Then leave your stop up there. If you're a little less certain, bring your stops in a little bit. If the sellers can't recover the trend at this point, well, then it's time probably to take the loss and minimize your exposure. Okay, so here's the Raptor trade now. Oh, come on. Wow, what an indecisive market. Yeah, I think you've got the right idea, Jim. Jim says that seems like after the morning move, it quiets down with very small moves, and that's exactly what it's looking like here at the moment. Things getting a little choppy, to be sure. Nicely done, Jim. Jim says he got his 43 ticks on 2 contracts. So he's going to take it easy here. I'm not liking how this is shaping up here. Not liking it one bit. I don't like how they're struggling. The fact that these bars are getting a little bit wider. Okay, there we go. Now we're seeing a little bit of follow through. I might start to bring my stops in a little faster. There we go. Trying to keep them below the trend line. But this may end up being our test of the extreme, and we could see the market head lower from here. Yeah. See you, Jim. Jim says he's off to do a little work for the neighbors. Oh, whew, that was some hard work there. All right, here they come back toward the highs, which would have been our profit target on all these signals, by the way. The first micro-macro cross, the eagle signal, the trend change signal here on the Falcon. Well, actually a little bit more follow through on that than I thought there would be. Well, we're just kind of waiting here at the moment. It looks like we might see the buyers try to rally the market a little bit further still. Might have got out of my trade a little bit early, but hey, you know what? I'm always for taking profit when you have it. Sorry, folks, there's just not much to talk about. I'm still here. There's just nothing going on. Wow, they really are slow here this morning. Okay, well, we've kind of topped out here. So that red bar buy signal we were considering just hit our high probability target and now is looking to reverse. I have a feeling we're going to be in a little bit of a trading range here today. I'm just taking a look at the other markets to see what's going on, but there's really nothing going on right now. All right, let's see if we don't get a macro pullback signal here. Personally, I think we're going to see the market, like I said, enter a trading range, in which case we should expect prices to head lower, retest the lows. All right, we're trying to get a macro pullback here. All right, I'll look at taking it. It's not the best type situation if we are in fact moving into a sideways trading range. Like I said, we're going to see the market retest the lows. We do have a chance for a second push on this entry. In fact, I will take it one tick above the high of the current bar. All right, that has moved into yellow bars, so I'm going to cancel that. Oops. Okay, they're going to probably drift here to the trend line before they try to rally again, but I'm really, the more I look at this, the more I'm thinking the market may just end up sideways here, at least for the duration of the morning. The afternoon might break out. All this sideways trading is just making it really difficult to get a handle on which way the market wants to go today. We'll hang with them for a little bit longer, but I think it may almost be time to call it a day. right, getting a possible trend change signal. Maybe going to get a soft edge sell here on the Raptor. Of course, we've got this trend line to deal with, so you got to know going in, it's going to be dicey. All right, here we go on the Falcon. We've got the warning dots. I'm going to anticipate that the signal is going to print there, and doggone. All right, well, we'll see now what that trend line does. I'll get a chance at a second push on this one. It kind of ran away on me a little bit. All right, so they slipped us a tick to boot, but it is trying to head lower. Here on the Raptor, we are getting our soft edge sell signal. And here we're going to want to place our stops above the high. There we go. Oh, I don't. Yes, I do have a stop play there. Come on down. Wow, the lack of follow through is unreal. Well, I think we're going to close things up here for this morning. We are generating a first micro-macro cross lower, so I think it's fairly safe to assume the market is going to try to test the bottom end of this trading range, but really it is so quiet and so sideways right now. Anticipate that at least for the rest of the morning session, you're going to have to run really wide stops, try to avoid the sideways and choppy action until the market settles on a direction, which I suspect will be lower. Now that's just a gut call. You know, there's obviously no reason the market couldn't rally back through today's highs. But right now I'm thinking that perhaps the sellers may be a little bit stronger. Emphasis on a little bit. All right, you guys, we'll catch you tomorrow morning. Hopefully things will be a little bit more active at that time. We'll see you then. Bye for now.